Namaste students, I am Dr. Atul Phatak from Progressive Education Society's Modern College of Pharmacy, Yamunanagar, Nigdi. We are going to discuss today regarding factors affecting absorption of drug. Very specifically, in these factors affecting absorption of drug, we have classified the factors into various classes. From these various classifications, the first and important factor is physicochemical properties of the drug. How these physicochemical properties affects absorption of the drug. We are going to study this. In this series, we have to start with the solubility as a physicochemical property, how it affects absorption of drug. Now, when we say solubility, means what? Solubility of a solute is a solute that is dissolved in a standard amount of solvent. It is measured in terms of maximum amount of solute dissolved in a solvent at equilibrium. The species that dissolves the solute can be a gas, can be another liquid, can be a solid also. For example, drug with benzene ring, hydrocarbon chain, halogen groups in their structures are more lipid soluble. So most of the times they face the challenge of the improvisation in the aqueous solubility. When an excess of solid is brought into contact with a liquid, the molecules of the solid particle are removed from its surface until equilibrium is established between the molecules which are leaving from the solid surface and those returning it to it. So this is how the mechanism of solubility can be explained. This is the physics understanding of the solubility. This resulting solution is said to be saturated at the temperature of the experiment, and the extent to which the solute is dissolved, that is referred as a solubility. Students, there are various definitions we can understand, we can study for the solubility. The definitions are based on the chemistry, that is the maximum amount of a solute dissolved in a solvent. The physics definition of the solubility says there is a solute molecule which is surrounded by the solvent molecules which are forming a sheath around the solute molecule. So this is the physics definition. But the solubilities for the medicinal agents, active ingredients in the given solvent are stated in the reference books, official pharmacopoeias, and what the expression they have used for the solubilities is they have expressed solubilities in the form of number of parts, that is parts by weight or volume of the liquid to the substance. So the expression for the solubility is in the parts as per the official books. Now, while considering the drug solubility, which are the factors that will decide drug solubility? So these are some basic factors we are discussing here. from the list of so many factors. Important factor is the temperature. As we understand that as temperature increases, there will be increase in the solubility. So temperature is an important factor. The next important factor is a polarity. In most of the solutes, they dissolve in the solvents that have a same polarity. We understand this. We have studied this as a like dissolves like. So polarity is also important in the solubility property of a drug. Then the next important factor is pressure. Then molecular size, obviously, and the mechanical things which we are using, like stirring. So this will increase solubility. Now coming to the theories of the drug dissolution, how the drug will get solubilized or dissolved. There are three theories which are commonly studied, considered. The first theory is diffusion layer model. In this theory, what is considered as a solid drug particle is forming a diffusion layer. The solid particles are coming into the diffusion layer and then it will get transported through the barrier and then into the body. It will get entered into the blood, and it is explained by Noyes and Whitney's. And the important parameter in this diffusion layer model is the concentration gradient, that is the change in the concentration or the differences in the concentration of drug in the diffusion layer and in the next compartment, that is blood. Next theory is Dankworth's model. In this theory, the solvent packets are moving, they are exposed to the solid surface every time, get saturated with the solid or solute, and they are coming back, they are returning. This is called as surface renewal theory. And the third one is the interfacial barrier theory. Here also a diffusion layer is considered. An intermediate concentration can exist as a result of solvation mechanism, and it is a function of solubility rather than the diffusion. The drug will come into the diffusion layer, and from that diffusion layer it will get diffused into the bulk fluid, that is the gastric fluid, where the pH is different. Therefore the drug or the molecules, they may get precipitated and then rapidly they will get redissolved and then available in a molecular solution form for the transport. So this is interfacial barrier model. Now why we should study the solubility? What is the significance or importance of solubility as a physical parameter in the absorption? This is because it is generally recognized that if the solubility is poor, then the drug molecule may encounter various difficulties in the manufacturing. The second significance or importance is it is a major challenge in the drug development process to improvise in the solubility parameter of a drug. The poor solubility will cause obviously a low bioavailability and decreased chance of drug administration, resulting a positive clinical outcome. Obviously what it means is the poor solubility, it means there are chances that there is low bioavailability. Whenever we are saying solubility, obviously it is a aqueous solubility of a drug. It is most influencing factor when we consider bioavailability properties of the drug. The drug absorption, it relies on the solubility as well as a permeability. In the next chapters we are going to discuss the relationship between this solubility, permeability and a charge on the drug substance. The poor solubility leads to poor dissolution in the GI fluid that may affect the efficacy of the drug. The poor solubility can lower a drug's chance for its performance in the market. As we all know, there are about 40% newly discovered entities, they are having lipophilic in nature and their aqueous solubility is minimum, and therefore it is a challenge for these molecules to perform well into the market due to the poor water solubility. Now what is the answer for this? As a formulation scientist, we have got the solubilization process methods. These solubilization methods can be used to improve the poor solubility of a poorly water soluble substances. Now here are some examples of poorly water soluble drugs. Cresofulvin, very typical example. Aciclofenac, acyclovir, diazepam, glipizide. There are so many poorly water soluble drugs are available, and still due to the formulation methods, solubilization methods, these drugs are there in the market because we have improvised the solubility properties by using the solubilization process. In that, one method is use of a carrier, using carrier, that is a non-ionic surfactants, how they improvise the solubility of a drug. The example given is a naproxen. Now for this naproxen drug, when the non-ionic surfactants are used, what is found is the more than 100 folds of increase in the solubilities. So this is one method. Like this, we have got so many methods which can be used to improvise the solubility. So what we have studied today is the important parameter called solubility, which is a physical property of a drug, how it affects absorption. What is the definition of solubility? What are the mechanisms of the solubilization? How to improvise into the solubility? And coming to conclusion, if we are saying we should have a good solubility for the drug, then what is the parameter, what we should consider, how much solubility that drug should have? A drug is considered as a highly soluble drug when the highest dose strength of that drug is soluble in 250 ml or less aqueous medium in the pH range of 1 to 7. This is considered as a standard parameter for the solubility. So we can consider this parameter and then how much solubility improvisation we need to convert that molecule into a optimized drug product. So today's discussion will be the first property, solubility property, how it affects absorption. Thank you students. Keep happy learning.